The latest news, national issues, the political scene, and conversations with prominent personalities. All these firsthand at the forefront. It's going to be a scorching Monday as Metro Manila's heat index is projected to shoot up to 46 degrees centigrade. Along with the onset of the heat wave, the month of March is also the fire prevention month. The higher temperatures and humidity increases fire incidents across the country. Just yesterday, Bureau of Fire Protection reported 7 fires that broke out in different parts of Metro Manila. The latest was in a residential area in Alabang, Muntinlupa. Public education on enhanced preventive measures, emergency response, and innovations continue to evolve to reduce the risk of devastating fires. Are current efforts already enough to ensure fire prevention? How can the public be more prepared when fire breaks out? With us this morning is Bureau of Fire Protection Chief of Public Information.
Saan kayo habang
Sunog o kaligtasan, pumili ka!
With us this morning is Bureau of Fire Protection Chief of Public Information Service, Senior Superintendent Annalee Carbajal-Atienza. Good morning, Chief Annalee.
Good morning, Attorney Karen, and to all the viewers po natin.
Chief Annalee, very powerful yung short film na ginawa ng BFP with John Arcilla. So how did you convince John Arcilla to do this film with you?
Attorney, there was no convincing at all kasi he came to the national headquarters and volunteered to be the fire safety ambassador. Accordingly, he himself firsthand na-experience niya po ang fire incident. So I guess from there,
naging biktima din sila na sunog.
opo.
Did you know the
Although
details?
the neighborhood only, not necessarily his house, but yung nearby yata. According to him, kumakalat na yung sunog and almost sa firewall na. And that annex to the firewall is his room with all his awards.
Oh my
so
goodness.
he kind of sort of nagpapanik na rin at some point kung ano ang uunahin niyang ilabas or what he was going to do.
And at that time, did he feel na hindi siya prepared?
Something like that. So maybe yun ang nag-push po sa kanya to volunteer as a fire safety ambassador.
So he wrote, directed, and of course also starred in this short film. So how did this collaboration come about?
Siyempre po, we decided sa Bureau of Fire Protection to emphasize on the current causes of fires. Kaya if you notice, the video was portraying a PWD, which in recent fires, we have a number of casualties, PWDs and senior citizens, as well as yung pagpapabaya nga po ng community if you have seen the whole video po.
Yeah, so ngayon po sa fire campaign ninyo, kasama na ang mga PWDs and
Yes.
senior citizens.
Yes po.
So why is the sudden inclusion of them in this focus nyo sa fire campaign?
Yes, Attorney. We would like to inculcate in the minds of our community na it's not enough for you to be aware to save yourself. And you have to be conscious also, especially those with PWDs and senior citizens in their homes. Kadalasan po, ang rooms natin, ang tulugan natin, sleeping area is second floor, which nagkakaroon ng problema when there are incidents like this. Nahihirapan silang i-save yung sarili nila. So awareness also on the kasama sa bahay na, hey, meron tayong PWD sa second floor or senior citizen. Kaya ang advice po ng BFP, as much as possible, you have their sleeping area sa ground floor para in case nga of emergency, madali din po silang maka-egress.
Does the same precaution apply to children. Kasi
Yes,
hirap
of
din sila
course.
bumaba,
Opo,
lalo na
opo.
infants. And
Yes po. However, there's a big difference. Yung children, they can walk, they can, move themselves. Pero itong minsan mga PWDs natin, like what in the video portrayed is naka-wheelchair. And yun nga, immovable. So that's the point po.
March is Fire Prevention Month. Bakit po March ang Fire Prevention Month? Historically in the Philippines, is this the month where we get the most fires?
Yes, right, attorney. Kaya nung 1966 po, dineclare ito ng former president natin, then Ferdinand Marcos Sr., na every month of March is fire prevention. From then on until now, yun na po ang na-observe natin every month of March. However, with the climate change, with the change of environment na rin natin, not only March actually na pumapalo po ang insidente, but on a daily basis na rin yung ating pag-inculcate ng fire prevention.
But historically, in the past
Yes,
years,
there were
ano yung
incidents.
common months po na
March
naganap ang
po
fire?
talaga
Talagang March
pumapalo.
pa din. Let's go through the common causes of fire. May mga napakita sa short film. Doon, mukhang cigarette yung
Yes.
naging cause. So, tignan natin, sigarilyo, iniiwang stove habang nagluluto.
Yes po.
Meron din doon batang naglalaro ng
Yes.
posporo at electrical overload. So, ito, tama ba na ito ang common causes of fire?
Right, attorney. Yan po ang lumalabas sa ating investigations recently. Top 1 po talaga is electrical causes. As we have seen in the video, octopus connection. As you can see, samot-saring nakasaksak in one extension wire. Knowing extension wires, it's only for temporary supply of kuryente. However, pinapractice ng ating community permanent. And then sabay-sabay pa nga po, like what we have seen in the video.
In this case, no,
Opo.
maraming bata, nakasaksak lahat. And so, hindi pala safe yung ganito. Kasi maraming tao,
Yes po.
they're charging their phone, they're charging their laptop, tapos yung electric fan siguro doon pa
Yes,
nakasaksak.
doon pa po,
So,
lalo na
delikado
ngayon.
pala yun.
Yes po. Overloading and overheating ang ating may experience.
And in the past, there have been instances where people also charge their phones and leave it overnight or lagi na lang nakasaksak. Is
That's one
that an
thing.
issue as well?
Yes po. Siyempre, overheat po ang ma-experience natin doon. And eventually nga, magkakaroon na ng spark at madadami na yung mga light combustible materials nearby.
So what would be your advice pag marami ka talagang devices na sinasaksak?
We suggest na doon po talaga sa main plug po main outlet, doon po tayo. And if it's a cellphone, meron naman yung alarm. So be responsible to set the alarm for probably an hour na charge na yan or something like that. Kasi meron din tayong mga kababayan na they settle for mga substandard because nga mura. Pero the effect is mas napapamahal pa. And worse, may namamatay.
Dahil sa
Yes
cost
po.
ng sunog
Yes
ito.
po.
What about scented candles? Usong-uso rin yung mga scented
Right,
candles. Actually, sa Pasko, ang daming nagbibigay na
Opo,
regalo na
opo,
scented candles. Is this something that is also a fire hazard?
Of course, the mere fact that there is fire already in the candle, a mere dumikit lang siya sa papel, sa kurtina, sa carpet, sa sofa, the probability is very high. So responsible use po talaga ng mga ganitong source of ignition, ika pa nga.
Huwag iiwanan
Yes
na walang nagbabantay.
Yes.
So, with your short film, Baldado, which is the film we showed here with John Arcilla, ano po yung main message na gusto nyo ipahiwatig dito? Is irresponsibility or yung kulang sa pag-iingat the main cause of fires in the Philippines?
As we can see, yes, there's a big impact ng hindi natin nagiging daily practice yung fire prevention, yung fire safety. By the mere nga, paggamit ng extension wire, pag-dispose ng sigarilyo na may upos pa, and even yung iiwanan mong na sinaing or niluluto. Yung ganong consciousness po, kung magawa natin on a daily basis, the BFP is pretty sure bababa po or masi-zero po tayo when it comes to fire incident.
And today, we're expected to have suddenly a heat wave, aabot daw
Yan,
sa mga
yes po.
40 degrees centigrade yung temperature. Meron po ba talagang correlation ang init, yung change sa temperature, sa fire risk?
Yes po, lalong-lalo sa mga grass fires natin or rubbish fires. Sometimes kasi kahit wala nga pong source of ignition because of the direct sunlight, sa sobrang init and there are dried leaves nearby, talagang yung chemical combustion mas mabilis po. At ito nga, kung hindi rin tayo naglilinis ng bakuran, yung mga simpleng tuyong dahon, no? So, yan po nakaka-attribute sa mabilis na pagkalat. And if ever yung dahon na yon nagkaroon ng ember or baga or alipato, they call it, pag dumapo, hanginin, ng hangin sa bubong or kung ano man na light combustible residential area, doon na po nag-uumpisa.
In the US, yung start ng 2025, yung sunod-sunod na wildfires in
Yes.
California.
Yes po.
Is there such a risk as well in the Philippines? Something similar? Because na-mention mo yung mga nasusunog na mga ng grass or
Yes po,
leaves.
and,
Is this also something that happens here in the Philippines?
Last year po, we had an incident somewhere in Cordillera. So it was a big struggle for the BFP car dahil nga po, we only have fire trucks as of now. Good thing we have brothers from other agencies who helped us with their aerial units, no, air units. So isa po yan sa nakalatag sa BFP modernization program, which is a 10-year modernization program, the procurement of helicopters to be used sa ganitong klase ng insidente and other functions ng BFP, like rescue or say, yung assistance sa mga, how do you call this, mga food and mga ganun pong activities na maaring gawin po ng BFP.
But that's still up for procurement.
Yes
So would
po.
you say that if something similar happens like the one in
Knock on wood.
California, knock on wood,
Yes, attorney.
prepared ba tayo sa Pilipinas?
Kung ganun po kalaki, I'm afraid we're not yet prepared. To be honest po, no? So that is why we are calling the attention na rin na ma-prioritize yung funding. Although nakalatag na nga po siya, pero sana bigyang attention na ito din isama sa priority for the first hydrant or first 3 years ng ating modernization program.
I don't really see a lot of fire hydrants around the Philippines. Meron po ba talaga tayong mga fire hydrants?
Yes, we do, but syempre nga po, it's in coordination with our water companies. Kaya patuloy po yung ating monitoring for those in the strategic areas as much as possible in A1 condition siya, but knowing the status din ng ating water supply, there are instances na short yung ating water supply. So with the aid na rin ng ating mga barangay fire volunteers, barangay officials, during their roving, that's one thing they are monitoring and hand in hand, reporting po kami with each other.
So for areas na may problem sa water supply, how does the BFP make sure that water is available should there be a fire emergency?
Siyempre po, we see to it the LGUs are notified. Kasi with their help also, assisted na kami to inform the water company to install dito or kung saan mang strategic area dapat merong fire hydrants.
Chief Annalee, one of the most tragic incidents here in the Philippines are often related to fires in informal
Yes po.
settler areas because dikit-dikit po yung mga bahay. Ano pong ginagawa ng BFP to prevent future fires from happening or to reduce this risk?
Noong 2019 po, we launched the program OLP. Ito po yung Oplan Ligtas Pamayanan wherein the BFP personnel goes down to this area para kausapin yung mga residents na ito yung hazard sa area mo, ito ayusin mo yung pagkakasalansan ng iyong gamit para may another exit and those things, identifying the hazards in the area. With the help again of our barangay fire brigade bilang sila po ang first responders during mga ganitong insidente. So it's a continuous collaboration, ma'am, and we would like to inculcate nga sa isip ng mga tao na hand in hand po tayo. No matter how big or small the project ng BFP, kung walang reciprocation, participation ng community, baliwala po.
Can you share with us stats? Meaning, ano na po yung trend in the past years? Have we been reducing the incidence of fires in the Philippines?
Nung pumasok po ang pandemic, bumaba tayo. Definitely because of the lockdowns and all, activities ng people, talaga namang bumaba din po. Then
Even if
came,
a lot of them were staying at home.
actually, ma'am, yun nga po, kasi ang naging top cause nun, open flame due to cooking. Because people were in their homes, yun na nga po, walang ibang magawa kundi magluto din, and on the internet, no? So we made, during that time po, we made use of the internet then to equally get into the minds of the people na ito ang BFP nagpapaalala. Pumasok po ang back to new normal. Medyo pumalo po tayo ng 2024. Tumaas po ang insidente. Then,
So last year,
yes
madami
po. Opo. 23 to 2024, medyo umangat tayo. Then came this year, as of this day, negative 43 po ang binaba natin.
So by negative 43, meaning from the baseline of 2024, we're down by
Yes.
43.
This 2025.
43%?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a
Opo.
big number. Ano pong
Yes po.
nagbago?
Masasabi po siguro natin yung sunod-sunod na nga din na insidente. The fear of mangyari sa kanila yon.
You
I
mean
guess.
nung start ng taon na nakikita natin sa ibang bansa?
Even towards the end of last year, talaga pong tinodo na ng BFP yung lahat ng community immersion activities. Especially itong sa mga malls, we have the road show na tinatawag. At mas lalo na nga po sa social media, knowing all ages are in the social media. Kaya naglabasan po talaga ang mga talent ng BFP when it comes to social media.
This short film na Baldado with John Arcilla, kailan po ba ito lumabas?
Noong March 1 po, nilaunch natin during the kick-off ceremony.
Last year?
No,
This year lang,
the other day lang po.
bagong-bago lang.
Yes
Okay.
po, the other
So
day lang.
bagong-bago lang talaga siya. And what's the reception so far?
Siyempre,
Marami na po bang-
ang dating po is, wow, BFP, John Arcilla yan, General Luna yan. So, we took the opportunity of his identity as yung galit, alam mo po yun, na General Luna na minsan nagbabad word pa nga. But siyempre, bilang representing BFP, you have to instill lang kung ano yung message natin. Kaya maganda po ang naging response ng community na especially they found out na it's volunteerism from him. Kaya maganda po ang naging impact so far.
And how do you plan to also include the children here? You already mentioned kanina na kasama na sa pagtuon nyo ngayon sa
Yes
fire
po.
prevention campaign ang senior citizens and PWDs. What about children? Paano nyo po sila isasama sa information campaign?
Sa atin pong mga kabataan, we have been projects like Junior KD Fire Marshal, that every Fire Prevention Month we have our Olympics, involved sila. They have their own team, they fight the fire using fire extinguisher or the pinaka-basic nating firefighting bucket relay. They do that.
Cute. So,
Yes po,
saan
in
nyo po
school.
ginagawa to?
We
Sa
do that in
schools?
school. Opo,
Okay, so
opo.
all public schools
Yes po.
have this?
Even private schools, if they are open to this kind of activities.
That's interesting. And in your experience, meron na po ba kayo nakita na results in terms of how this translates to less fire hazards or children really becoming more proactive in preventing fires?
Yes po. Lalong-lalo na nga sa social media, ma'am. They even portray themselves as firefighters, na adopting the fire safety measures or fire prevention activities ng ating ahensya. And especially itong mga SK po natin, knowing how they are improving their leadership skills. So participating in fire drill sa community, malaking impact po sa kanila.
And this may surprise people, but Vice President Sara Duterte has a message posted on BFP website.
Yes po.
Let's watch this.
Ngayong Fire Prevention Month, nakikiisa ako sa Bureau of Fire Protection at sa lahat ng ating mga fire volunteers sa pagsusulong ng mga hakbang upang maprotektahan ang sarili, pamilya, tahanan at komunidad sa sunog. Seryoso ang kasiraan na dala ng sunog, subalit isa itong trahedya na maaaring maiwasan sa pamamagitan ng tamang kaalaman at paghahanda. Hinihikayat ko ang lahat na suportahan ang Bureau of Fire Protection, mga lokal na pamahalaan at mga volunteer organizations sa pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman at pagpapalakas ng kultura ng kahandaan upang malayo tayo sa panganib at pinsala ng sunog. Dalhin natin ang kampanyang ito sa mga tahanan, paaralan, komunidad, pribadong organisasyon at establishmento. Ang bawat Pilipino ay responsable. maging maalam, mapagbantay at lumahok sa mga fire safety drills sa ating mga komunidad. Sama-sama nating itatag ang mas handa, mas ligtas at mas matatag na bansa. Ang lahat ng ginagawa natin ay para sa Diyos, sa bayan at sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Syukran.
Did BFP solicit this message from Vice President Sara, or did she send this to BFP for dissemination? But before you answer that
sorry.
question,
Sige
sorry,
po.
we're gonna have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back.
Good morning, I'm Mikey Oreta and you're watching Business 360 where we break down the numbers,
This week we saw the S&P 500 make a new historic high.
connect the dots,
I withdrew from the World Health Organization.
and give you the developments and insights you need to navigate, adapt, and lead. Real Corporation is funding artificial intelligence and data science research at the University of the Philippines.
Business 360, hosted by Mikey Oreta,
Keep it here on BNC.
the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb.
At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas.
Kombinasyong Corina Sanchez Rojas at Pinky Webb. Dalawang babamahayag na subok sa tapang at talino.
Simulcast tayo sa DWAR Abante Radyo at 94.7 Mellow BFM.
Mapapanood din tayo sa Abante Teletabloid sa Sky Cable. Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Welcome back at the forefront. Chief Annalee, did BFP solicit a message from Vice President Sara on fire prevention, or did she send this to BFP for dissemination?
Ito po actually nakita namin sa page ni VP, and then we decided, since she was talking about fire prevention, we decided to post it on our page po.
And I think it is a very effective message
Yes
coming
po.
from the Vice President.
Yes po, yes po.
But with the upcoming elections and with everything that's happening politically, there's a rift between the President and the Vice President. How does the BFP make sure that you are insulated from politics?
Of course po, no, we always remind our personnel that BFP is non-partisan, that we serve the community and the country in general.
So historically, ang BFP naman po, hindi nadadamay sa mga politika.
Hindi naman po.
In terms of getting funding, hindi ba kayo naiipit minsan with any political issues?
Not that I know of po, Attorney. In fact, ito nga po, nakalatag yung ating 10-year modernization program, and we're very grateful for it kasi talaga naman pong kailangan na po talagang i-upgrade ang BFP.
Well, historically, in the past budgets, meron focus on flood prevention. Ito bang fire prevention, has it gotten its sufficient attention when it comes to the budget?
Yes po, I believe so. Having this 10-year modernization program, although yung prioritization nga po, sana makasama nga yung aming helicopters nga po natin, considering what happened to other countries. And we have already experienced it here, na naging struggle po, challenge po sa BFP.
Can you give us an idea what are the highlights, main important points of this modernization program?
Ang pinaka-priority po right now, Attorney, is the at least 1:1, one fire truck per bayan.
Wala po ba tayong gano'n?
Yeah, yun
We don't
po.
have any-
Actually, as of January of 2025, we still have 61 municipalities without fire truck and activated fire station from the BFP. What they have is their own local fire brigade. So, although ito na nga po, nakalatag na siya and this is the priority, anytime this year, mapunuan na po yung kakulangan na 61.
Ganun po ba kakailanganin yung mga fire trucks? Meaning, let's say, among the municipalities, has there been an opportunity to look into whether sharing would be effective? Pag magkakadapit?
Yes po, we do that. Actually, we augment fire trucks or personnel from other bayan if the need arises as the level of fire alarm goes up. So, ganun din po sa mga bayan na itong wala pa. Sometimes kung kinakailang, although wala pa naman sa history, na nangailangan sila ng ganung kalaking insidente. Good thing nga po, ganun ang sitwasyon. But
So,
just the same, we
yung
have
fire
to be
trucks
prepared.
talaga.
Yes,
Yeah.
po.
You mentioned helicopters. How important is it to have helicopters in the BFP?
Like what happened nga po sa ibang country and we already experienced it in CAR last year, napakalaking importansya po na we have this kind of logistics dahil seconds ang kalaban po when it is fire. And yung accessibility and the terrain that we have, especially in CAR, is a big challenge for the fire trucks. Lalo na kung ang base of the fire is up on the mountain. Mahirap po talaga.
And how does the government at the barangay level ensure that we're prepared for fires? For example, as simple as fire extinguishers, is this available in all barangays?
That's the requirement we are enforcing based sa fire code po natin. At least one barangay has their own fire extinguisher na available anytime within their nasasakupan. When it comes naman po doon sa ating grass fires, we advise the community na wag magsisiga. Di ba po, nasa law din natin yan,
Yes,
na bawal na
oo.
yan.
Paano
Or
nga yun?
nagkakaingin when it
Yes.
comes naman sa mga forest. So it's the responsibility again of the barangay officials to monitor these activities ng ating mga kababayan.
What about fire extinguishers? I know that when it comes to obtaining permits, this is a requirement
Yes.
for establishments, offices, that
Yes.
they have to have their own fire extinguishers.
Yes.
How does the BFP make sure that, one, this is enforced, but second, that, di ba nag-expire din sila, na that they are also constantly replaced with new
Yes.
fire extinguishers?
Siyempre po, during the business permit requirement, dahil nga prerequisite ang fire safety inspection certificate, we see to it that they comply not only sa fire extinguisher, but all other basic fire safety measures, emergency lights, smoke detectors, especially fire exits. Yun po ay isa sa mga immediate compliance na nire-require ng ating ahensya. And ito naman pong fire extinguisher natin, wala naman po siyang expiry. It's just every year, you see to it it's maintained properly. Hindi siya bumaba yung pressure, walang chip or hindi na-crack yung fire hose, and that the pin is still intact because any of those things I mentioned magka-problema, affected na po yung condition ng unit. And in the event kailangan mo, sad to note, hindi mo agad maapula yung maliit pa lang.
Okay, so wala pala expiration because in our office right now, we're procuring a new set because they said that it's going to expire. So it's more of the maintenance lang
Yes po,
pala.
maintenance.
Okay, but for the houses, individual homes, it's not a requirement to have a fire extinguisher or smoke detectors.
Yes po, but we encourage the community to have one kasi malaking tulong po talaga ito.
Paano naman ini-enforce yung mga like you mentioned, not just kaingin, pero yung mga nagsisiga. I know that this is not allowed, but in neighborhoods, you still
Yes,
see this
yun nga po.
happening often. Paano naman namin i-report? For example, you have a neighbor na nagsisiga ng mga basura.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to report this?
That's why po we encourage our community to check on our social media accounts ng ating mga local fire stations kasi it's a requirement talaga that these numbers, hotline numbers, active hotline numbers should be posted frequently sa pages namin. So that is why anytime itong community madaanan yung wall natin or yung page natin, masisave na po nila agad. Or might as well, 911 lang po. I-dial po nila yon.
So 911 will work. How do we ensure that our electrical wirings at home are safe? Ano pong recommendation nyo on that in terms of maintaining safety?
Attorney. When it comes to electrical wirings po natin, as we all know, during construction, prior construction, during and after, doon lang po dumadaan sa Bureau of Fire. After that, time goes by, lumalago ang pamilya nga, nadadagdagan ng appliances, hindi na po compatible yung requirement sa supply. So we advise our community na have your main source checked by a licensed electrician para sigurado po tayo na lahat ng dumadalo hindi pa nag-crack, hindi pa nag-chip, or minsan may mga daga na kinukot-kot ito, and then when the kuryente dumadaloy, nagkakaroon ng arcing. So yun po ang madalas nating na-encounter na responde.
So there's a way to check yung integrity ng electrical wirings without having to demolish or hindi kailangan mabutasan yung mga
alam po yan ng
walls
ating
natin.
mga electrician.
Okay, so kailangan talaga ng electrician. Meron bang nationwide fire drill for high-density occupancies ang BFP?
Kasama na po yan, actually, nilalatag na po yan na isasabay sa earthquake drill. Para dahil nga po ang BFP din naman ang main agency in responding to emergencies. So isa na din po yan sa programa na magkaroon ng National Fire Drill.
There was recently a memorandum of agreement between BFP and Pag-ibig. Can you tell us about this agreement?
Siyempre po, high moral ngayon ang Bureau of Fire Protection having the MOA with the Pag-ibig. Alam naman po natin gaano ka-supportive ang Pag-ibig when it comes to having your own home, di ba po? So sa Bureau of Fire, nakita po natin yung, kumbaga, aangat yung moral ng personnel natin, especially those who already have their home loans, that accordingly there will be a 45% discount and that the BFP will have their own lane for the processing of whatever services they need from the Pag-ibig Fund. So we're very grateful sa kanilang offer po na to.
Oo, that's great. Among our BFP po ba, meron po bang mga incidents din ng casualties because of BFP responding to fire incidents?
There were a few, ma'am, na yung mga fellow po natin ay talagang during firefighting sinawing palad po doon sa responde.
But we're very happy at least na inaalagaan naman sila ng ngayon ng government with this Pag-ibig agreement. So any tips po? So now it's again Fire Prevention Month. You mentioned don't overload, lalo na yung mga common mistakes of plugging so many devices and appliances in one extension cord. Ano pa po yung iiwan yung practical advice namin for this Fire Prevention Month?
Ito po, let's be cautious na once, if you notice, as simple as pagsaksak mo, may nag-spark, yan, something is wrong with that. Or when you open your light and then biglang parang nagkaroon ng disco sa loob ng bahay mo, nag-flicker yung light, that's one thing na kailangan nyo na rin pong ipacheck. Or either palitan ng bulb or as simple as that, ipacheck ang ating mga source ng wiring natin. At yun nga po, make it a habit na napag-uusapan in the family. Ito po yung isang proyekto natin na EDITH, edit or exit drill in the home. Pag-usapan po ng buong mag-anak, especially if your house is merong grills, see to it na merong small opening, nakalock man siya, alam ng lahat ng occupants kung saan ang susi. And practice nyo po. Lumabas kayo doon, mag-exit kayo doon on your own. Para in the event may emergency, day or night it may be, alam mo kung paano gamitin yung fire exits. And also, yung ating pong mga niluluto and the kitchen, see to it. Kaya po nasa fire code yan, observe good housekeeping. yung walls po ng kitchen natin, lalo na kung nagpiprito tayo, talsik ng mantika, nag-accumulate alikabok, madapuan po siya ng apoy, kakalat na po agad yan. So those things na on a daily basis, ma-practice po natin. And also, kung meron po nga tayong fire extinguisher, practicein din how to use it.
So okay lang ba na gamitin siya pala?
Yes po,
kahit walang
opo.
fire para lang
Yes
ma-practice?
po.
Okay. Thank you so much. Very practical
po.
tips po. Thank you again, Fire Superintendent Annalee Carbajal-Atienza.
Thank you, Attorney.
Up next, the pioneering volunteer group when At the Forefront returns after a short break.
Every morning, let's start your day right and laugh with fun. Join Paulo Del Rosario
So excited to bring it all here for you.
and Asis Carillo.
Always a pleasure sharing our mornings with you. Don't forget, wherever this day takes you, choose joy and spread kindness.
And Monique Tuzon.
Your mornings are more fun with us. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter.
Only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!
Ciao, mabuhay. You are watching The Word Exposed.
Prepare our hearts as we dive deeper into our faith and receive the strength from God's Word. Join Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as he shares the reflection we need for the rest of the week.
We pray that the Word of God would find fulfillment in your life and His blessings be always upon you.
Every Sunday, 7 a.m., with replays at 3 p.m.
Welcome back at the Forefront. Now we have the second-generation Executive Director of TXTFIRE Philippines, Royce Gerik Chua. Good morning, Gerik.
Hi, good morning, Attorney Karen. Good morning sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin dito.
So let's first start with the history of how you became the second-generation Executive Director of TXTFIRE.
Well, TXTFIRE started back in 2002, no? Back then kasi, ang problema ng mga tao, pag nakakita sila ng mga fire truck sa kalsada, is kinakabahan sila. They don't know where the fire is, di ba? Ang daming iba nagkakaroon ng phobia, nagkaroon ng sunog malapit sa kanila before, and then, naku, saan kaya yung sunog? So, napag-isipan before na gumawa ng isang system wherein the public, pwede silang magtanong kung nasan yung sunog simply by texting fire to a number, 0918-688-888. At that time, kasi alam niyo pag tumawag kayo sa mga hotlines, no? 1:1 conversation yan eh. If you talk to an operator, that operator ngayon, hindi na siya makakasagot ng ibang tawag dahil preoccupied siya with your call.
Yes.
So sabi namin, dapat merong isang way na mas mapabilis natin yung process. And since the Philippines is the text capital of the world, na kahit nga hindi tayo nakatingin sa cellphone, nakakapag-text tayo before, no?
Diba? Memorize na yung
keypad. So sabi namin, dapat gumawa tayo ng ganitong system na pwede silang magtanong kung nasa yung sunog. And like, easily, like 1,000 messages per minute, ang dali lang sagutin. And nung nagawa na yung system na yun, sabi namin, since nandito na rin tayo, why not make it possible for the public to report fires? And then that's how it all started. So, kasi ngayon, ang nagiging problema lagi is, alam mo, since hindi masyadong educated at nagpapanik yung mga tao during fires, marami kami na-receive na tawag na pag tumawag sila sa telepono, hello, may sunog dito sa may baba. Yung system kasi natin dito, it's not like kung nasa ibang bansa ka na pag tumawag ka, alam na kagad kung nasaan yung location ng tumatawag. So, ngayon, nagiging problema namin as fire volunteers dun sa operation center namin. Alam namin na may sunog, hindi naman namin alam kung saan.
Oh, yeah.
Nangyayari, it prolongs the time bago namin malaman at makapag-dispatch ng mga fire volunteers. So with the use of this technology, yung texting nga, ang nangyari ngayon is marami kaming report sabay-sabay na natatanggap, and it's been very effective to shorten the response time of our fire volunteers. No? So in a few minutes, makikita mo yung mga bumbero na dumarating. And kasi hindi lang sa amin na napupunta yung messages na yan. No? Yung messages na yan, aside from sa operation center ng mga fire volunteers, napupunta rin na we send a copy to the Bureau of Fire Protection.
Okay, so sila rin,
yes,
they can
respond. They have a copy,
Yeah.
and then kung sino lang ang mauna. Kasi sa amin po, sa aming mga bumbero, ang pinaka-importante is yung time element.
Yes.
Kasi it only takes seconds for a fire to grow out of control.
And just when you said that now, at least when you text this number, hindi na siya yung 1:1 na nag-aantay ka, kaya you won't get like a busy response.
Yes.
But what would you get in terms of information? So when you text fire, lalabas ba kung nasaan yung sunog or information that will help you?
So pag nag-text ka ng fire to text fire, what will happen is makakatanggap ka ng reply telling you where the current fire is. So pag may nakita kang bumbero, sasabihin sa'yo either may sunog, walang sunog, or kung may nakikita kang or kung may sunog man, baka meron pang hindi namin alam na you can report it to us. Diba? And then, aside from that, since we started way back in 2002, technology has evolved. And we are a strong believer of technology. So right now, we're using social media as well. You can report to us and check out our Facebook, Twitter. Lahat po yan updated our website and even Viber.
At meron sumasagot.
Yes.
Well, with Viber, that's faster. Kasi you can just go to, perhaps, do you have a Viber group?
We have a community. We have a Viber community now.
Yes, that people can just join.
Once na nagkaroon ng sunog, it's automatically updated there. Saan yung sunog, ano na yung alarma niya ngayon. And this is all done in close coordination with the government as
Can you
well.
share with us what the name of that Viber community is? Para naman
It's
makasama
TXTFIRE
kami.
Philippines.
So TXTFIRE Philippines, you
Yes.
have to find. Kasi I was looking at the number for TXTFIRE. It's also pretty long, ha? Parang marami siyang 8888.
Yeah. It's
But
actually-
ipapanik ka na, baka hindi mo na alam ilan
Yes.
8 kailangan mo pindutin. Ito, 0918
6, tapos 6 na
tapos
8.
888. So
Yes.
parang minsan pa nagmamadali ka, di
True.
ba? Kung ganyan, hindi mo na makip track.
Kaya
so
actually,
mas mabilis siguro yung mga Viber,
Yes.
gano'n.
And lagi namin sinasabi, in terms of emergency, napaka-importante is for you to have a presence of mind. Huwag kayong magpapanik. And before magkaroon pa ng ganitong mga sakuna at dilubyo, dapat nakasave na yung mga numbers na yan sa contact mo. Kasi during the time na nagpapanik ka, kahit ang pinaka well-organized na tao, mahihirapan.
Yes, I agree. Lalo na kung meron ka mga kailangan na isalbahin sa bahay ninyo. Like kanina, si Chief Annalee was mentioning, pag yung mga seniors in PWD, sila yung hirap bumaba, kailangan yung buhatin. So, what would be your advice? Now, join the Viber community already para mas madali?
Yes, you can join our Viber community. Actually, you can visit our website. Nandun po lahat ng links namin, social links, pati yung Viber community. So, i-click nyo lang po yun. Go to www.textfire.net. It's TXTFIRE.net. At nandun na po lahat yun. So, just in case po na merong sunog or gusto nyo lang pong ma-update, dahil alam nyo, it's a good resource. Nakakatulong rin po kayo sa mga bumbero. Halimbawa, nalaman nyo pong may sunog and kung papunta kayo dun sa area na yun, pwede kayo makaiwas sa traffic. And at the same time, sa aming mga bumbero, pag mas maluwag yung kalsada, mas hindi rin kayo makahirap makarating dun sa sunog.
And then, now let's go back to the history of TXTFIRE. Your father started this, tama
Yes.
po ba? So, how did your father start this or even why? Nagkaroon ba siya ng personal experience with fire?
It's a very funny story. Ang father ko kasi, he was, I think, when he was 18 or 16, fire volunteer na siya. And naging passion niya talaga yung pagbubumbero. No? So, meron siyang...
Kahit wala siyang personal experience,
Wala.
talagang
Yes.
advocacy
Actually,
niya siya.
on the second or third day niya ng pagbubumbero, naputulan pa siya ng daliri. Kasi
Oh my
dati,
goodness.
wala naman, hindi naman uso yung mga training dati, OJT, on-the-job training. Diba? So, even though nang nangyari yun, talagang nag-push through pa rin yung passion niya to help other people.
At hindi siya inawat ng mommy mo?
Ay, hindi
Itigil
naman.
mo na, naputulan
That was,
ng daliri.
matagal na
Okay.
yun. And nakilala niyo yung father ko, bumbero na siya.
Okay.
Diba? So, aso na ako.
So naging bumbero yung dad mo, and then
Yeah.
ilang years siya
So, nung naging bumbero na siya, tuloy-tuloy yun talagang advocacy namin is fire volunteerism. Paano nabuo yung TXTFIRE? Yung father ko mahilig siya mag-text. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, text capital of the world. Tapos may kaibigan siya, ang pangalan, Engineer Reggie. Sabi niya, Reggie, may problema ako. Paano ko ba pwedeng doblehin yung bilis ng mag-text? Kasi meron siyang phone book, nandun lahat ng kaibigan niya, tinetext niya yun. May sunog sa ganitong location, blah, blah, blah.
Tapos iniisa-isa niya.
Iniisa-isa niya.
Okay.
Sabi nung kaibigan namin engineer, ang galing, sabi niya, madali lang yan. Kung gusto mong dumoble yan, bili ka pa ng isang cellphone. Tapos doble na yan. So it started from that joke na noon naman wala namang isang cellphone is enough. Ngayon, isang tao may 3, 4 na SIM cards, di ba? Pero during that time, hindi eh. So ginawa niya, yung joke na yun, doon nagsimula yung TXTFIRE. Nung pin-program yun, it was one cellphone na nag-receive ng message. Then, I think we started at 2 modems na nagsasend palabas ng message. Doble na kagad yung bilis. And now we have the capacity to send more than 1,000 messages per minute.
Okay. But you have to message TXTFIRE in order to get this information.
Yes, and we actually, meron naman tayong mga groups, like kaming mga fire volunteers, pasok kami doon. So, kahit di namin dala yung radyo namin, at least makakatanggap kami ng text, may malapit na sunog somewhere. Which allows us to respond.
Yes.
Kahit nasa office kami, may malapit na sunog, baka kailangan assistance, pwede kaming umalis.
And kayo, meron ba kayong special equipment? Do you wear fire protection gear when you respond?
Yung mga fire volunteers, ang pinagkaiba sa amin, although we don't get like the most modern equipment, kasi syempre, mas limited yung funds namin as fire volunteers, may mga kanya-kanya kaming mga gamit. So, like for example, yung grupo namin, we have 10 fire trucks already. We have all the way from small pumpers, all the way to ladder trucks that can go as high as 15 stories. No?
Oh, wow.
So, it really depends on kung sino yung fire volunteer group, sino yung tumutulong o mga donors ng fire volunteer groups, which enable us to actually help other people din.
Well, according to our researchers, kayo raw, yung pamilya mo mismo, meron ding sariling fire truck. Your dad.
Yes, yun yung sinabi kong 10 fire truck na dinonate namin. Actually, wala na sa pangalan namin yun. It's donated to the group.
So, ganun talaga kayo ka-dedicated in terms of your advocacy.
And actually, TXTFIRE, hindi lang naman yung fire trucks namin yan. TXTFIRE is currently the Philippines' largest volunteer firefighting organization.
In the whole world?
In the whole Philippines.
In the whole Philippines. Okay.
We're present Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, in all major key cities in the Philippines. Meron po tayong mga fire volunteers na nandiyan na tumutulong.
Kung kayo na ang largest na volunteer group, bakit yung iba hindi na lang sumama sa inyo?
Well, ang dami kasing may mga kanya-kanyang ginagawa or may kanya-kanyang focus, no. Sa atin kasi is more on bakit tayo lumaki? Kasi dati pag gusto mo sumali ng fire volunteer group, meron pang membership fees, may mga ganun. Sa amin, ang family namin, ang nasa isip namin is bakit mo kailangan paggastusin pa yung mga tao to form your kumbaga ba't mo kailangan paggastusin yung tao para sumali dun sa grupo? Gamitin na lang nila yung pondo na yan to enhance their own group, diba? Kasi sa amin naman, we already have the equipment, yung may manpower na kami. Nagbabayad na kami ng mga yun eh. So pag sumali sila sa amin, hindi na namin kailangan ng gumastos ng additional pa for them. So hindi na namin kailangan, kumbaga, hindi na nila kailangan mag-donate sa amin kasi meron or wala sila, yun din naman yung ginagastos namin. So ang nasa utak namin is, dapat gamitin mo yung pera nyo to bolster your own capacities.
And Gerik, you mentioned you are the largest organization of volunteers in the Philippines. Ilan kayo?
Around 200 fire volunteer groups tayo all over the Philippines. Around nasa 4,000 fire volunteers. Ganun.
Marami din, yes. And hindi nyo ba naisip na maging party list at some point? Alam mo naman,
yes, actually,
mga Pilipino,
maraming nagtatanong yan before. Sabi namin, ito ginawa namin. Hindi kami politiko. Ang importante sa amin is makatulong tayo sa kapwa. Kasi you don't have to be in politics to be able to help. Hindi mo natin kayang i-cover ng sobrang laki, but in our own little way, nakakatulong tayo.
That's great. I really admire that. At least hindi kayo na politiko, but I admire the sincerity. Would you know if there's any party list that advocates for anti-fire, fire prevention?
Meron din naman, meron din.
But you don't coordinate with them?
We are not endorsing anything kasi TXTFIRE, binuo namin yan to be apolitical. We're here just to be able to help the Bureau of Fire Protection and help the public. Kasi ang nag-start kami, 1 peso can save lives and properties. Bakit 1 peso? Kasi dati text is piso eh. Ngayon it's free na. Diba? Your text can save lives and properties and we don't we don't earn anything from that. Before we were actually given, yung na-offeran kami nila Smart, nila Globe na, uy, bigyan namin kayo ng access number, profit sharing tayo. Sabi namin, hindi namin kailangan niya kasi we're doing this to help people, hindi namin kailangan kumita for that.
Oo nga. At saka ayaw nyo rin na gumastos pa yung mga tao
Yes.
para gamitin ang TXTFIRE. In your other advocacies, I mean, for Fire Prevention Month, meron po ba kayong mga gagawin?
Yes, we're going to be holding another fire prevention motorcade on March 9. So, expect nyo na po medyo magiging matraffic lang ulit ng konti. We're around mga...
Saan? Saang area?
Around Metro Manila. It's going to be around 300 fire trucks that's going to be going around Metro Manila. 300 or 300 something fire trucks going around Metro Manila po.
And for those who also want to volunteer, including the youth, how can they be part of your group?
It's easy, no? If you want po, you can... we have our social media accounts. You can message us and we can redirect you to the nearest volunteer organization near you. Kasi, for example, ako taga Binondo. If you're from Rizal and pupunta kayo ng Binondo, it's not gonna be, kumbaga, hindi siya practical. So it's better for you. Ang importante lang po is makatulong tayo sa kapwa and you go volunteer at the nearest volunteer fire station near you.
May training po ba sila?
Yes. TXTFIRE, actually, we provide, we do coordination with the Bureau of Fire then, and they do trainings for us. And we also do our in-house trainings for our fire volunteers.
Gerik, I'm curious. You mentioned yung unang volunteer group started in Binondo.
Yes.
Bakit Binondo? Doon ba common ang mga sunog dati?
Alam niyo, ang Binondo kasi ano siya very, very dense, no? And nagkaroon one time ng, I think 1960s, nagkaroon ng isang malaking sunog na ang laking chunk ng Binondo yung nasunog.
Naapektuhan.
No? And being the business capital of the Philippines back then, itong Binondo, alam niyo naman, nag-usap-usap yung mga Chinese businessmen before to form yung pinakaunang fire volunteer group, which is Arangkay Volunteer Fire Brigade.
And then for your dad, bakit niya napiling dito rin sa Manila based yung, or at least nasimulan, yung fire volunteer group
yung fire volunteer group namin, yung TXTFIRE, siya yung nag-start. Pero meron kami yung pinaka-main na sinalihan din niya before, yung East Binondo Volunteer Fire Brigade. Yun yung second na fire volunteer group na nabuo. Kasi sa Binondo, although maliit lang siya, meron niyang mga kino-cover na iba-ibang areas. And alam nyo, sobrang daming fire volunteers in the sense na pag sa Binondo pumunta ka sa isang kalsada, there might be as much as 4 different fire volunteer groups in that area that serves the community.
Okay. Gerik, what is your message to the public now that it's Fire Prevention Month?
Well, napaka-ano lang po, no? Let's make every day a fire prevention day. Hindi lang po during Fire Prevention Month dapat dahil even outside of Fire Prevention Month, like in other months of the year, we get an average of 3 fires a day.
3 fires a day?
That's reported,
Okay.
Hindi pa kasama dun yung mga hindi na natin nalaman dahil di naman lumaki na patay kaagad. So it's very important na let's be fire safe, let's be fire conscious sa lahat ng ginagawa natin. Para naman, sabi nga namin, pinaka-importante is to save lives. Yung properties is secondary, pero pinaka-importante rin kasi ang properties pwede mong mapalitan eh. Pero ang life, once na wala siya, wala ka nang magagawa. So, let's make every day a fire prevention day.
Yes, and fire talaga, it's one of the most devastating things that can happen because you lose everything it's something that we can prevent. Yes. And like you said, very important is you can save lives through fire prevention. Thank you so much, Gerik, and good luck. Good luck to TXTFIRE. I hope for your continued success.
Thank you po. Thank you rin.
Fire safety is a shared responsibility that requires awareness, preparation, and community action. With rising temperatures increasing the risk of fire incidents, proactive measures must be taken to protect not only our properties, but more importantly, the lives of the vulnerable during fires, children, PWDs, and senior citizens. May the message of John Arcilla resonate with us all.
Sunog o kaligtasan, pumili ka!
Be timely informed, be insightful of the news. Always stay at the forefront. Join us again tomorrow for meaningful conversations that will help you form an objective personal opinion. This is Attorney Karen Jimeno. Thank you for spending your hour with us.